All right, let's start. All right, so there are certain numbers that are perfect squares, and those are basically the numbers that you multiply by itself twice, and they will give you whatever number it is, right? So for example, 1 times 1 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1, not 2. So 1 has a perfect square, and the perfect square of 1 would be 1. 2 times 2 equals 4, which means the 4 is a perfect square because the square root of 4 would be 2. 3 times 3 is 9, which means the square root of square root of 9 is 3, right? So all these are perfect squares because when you do the square root, it's a nice even number, right? So my next square, perfect square, would be 36, then 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, and then 144, and so on. Yay? Alrighty. So it's the same thing with exponents. The perfect square, these are perfect squares because the square root of x squared would be 1x because for every 2, 1 comes out. Square root of x to the 4th power would be, what's the square root of x to the 4th? X2. Thank you, because for every 2, 1 comes out. Good job, Alvin. Square root of x to the 6th power. X to the 3rd, because for every 2, how many come out? 1, right? So the next one would be what? X to the what? To the 8, x to the 10, and so on. So the exponent must be what? What would must the exponent be? Yes. Yes. So what must the exponent be? Look at all those exponents and tell me what they have in common. Say that again? They're even. Very good. So the exponent must be even. Very good. Give your family 50 points. Good job. All right. So 25 is red. Square root of 25. So the square root of 25 is 5 because 5 square equals 25. So the square root of 36 is 6 because 6 square equals 36. Now these are things that we already know, right? What's the square root of 100? 10. What's the square root of 49? What's the square root of a squared? A. Thank you very much. What's the square root of y to the 10th power? Y to the what? To the 5th. Divided by 2. It's a square root. For every 2, 1 comes out. All right. What's the square root of m to the 16th power is m to the 8th power because m to the 8th power times 2, look at it, it's right here, would be a to the 60. It's not a, it's m. I'm sorry. Change it to an m. I'm sorry. Yay? So hint, divide the exponent by what? When it's a square root, you got to divide it by what? By 2. But if it's a cubic root, you don't divide it by 2. You divide it by what? 3. But if it's a 7th root, you don't divide it by 2 or 3. You divide it by? You got the deal, right? All right. So what's the square root of 4? 2. What's the square root of 16? 4. What's the negative of square root of 100? Square root of a to the 8th? A to the 4th. What about square root of w? Guys, I'm recording. W to the 12th? Very good. What about this two? A3, B5. What about this one? 3 and A. Very good. 3 and A. Square root of 9 is 3. And the square root of a squared would be A. Negative, because you got a negative. 9. Divide by 2. 32. Very good. What's the square root of 49? 7. What's the square root of a to the fourth? A to the second and b to the 6. Just divide. That's simple. Square root of 121? 11. X to the 7th and y to the 3. Do you guys remember if any of this is on the STAR test? But it is on Algebra 2, right? You're doing geometry. I wonder who. All right. Shh. All right, so. All right. So what happens when they're not perfect square roots? 20 is not a perfect square root. There is nothing that you can multiply by itself twice and will give you 20, right? So what you have to do is you got to think about a number that it is a perfect square that you can multiply by another number and will give you 20. So they've chosen 4 and 5. Why 4 and 5? Because what's the square root of 4? 2. And then you can just leave the square root of 5 inside the square root. All right? So look at 27. 27 is not a perfect square root. Eyes on me. So you say 9 times 3 because 9 is a perfect square root. What is the square root of 9? 3. Yay? All right. So let's do this one. 45. Think about two numbers that multiply 45. 9 and 5. Very good. So this would be 9 and 5, correct? And then what's the square root of 9? 3. And then you leave the 5 inside and you're done. What about 12? Is 6 a perfect square? No. So 6 and 2 cannot be it. 4 and 3. Very good. 4 and 3. 4 times 3 is 12, correct? All right, what's the square root of 4? 2, and then you leave the 3 inside the square root. All right, talk about 50. 25 and 2, and then what's the square root of 25? 5, and then square root of 2. Yay? Now, I've already shown you how to do this, right? I've already told you for every 2, 1 comes out, and then if it doesn't come out the house because it's grounded, it needs to stay inside, right? So over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For every 2, 1 comes out. That's where that a square is. And then this one doesn't have a partner to come out, so he needs to stay. He or she needs to stay in, right? We've done that before, correct? All right, so let's do that one. X to the 9th. Square root of x to the 8th, and then an x, right? Because x to the 8th is a perfect square root. What's the perfect square root? What's the square root of x to the 8th? X to the 4, or is the same thing as for every 2, 1 comes out. If it doesn't come out, it stays in, right? All right, what about this one? X2 and x. Very good. What's the square root of x squared? X, and then the other x stays in. Yay or nay? Yes? All right. 18. 9 times 2. What's the square root of 9? 3, and then 2 stays in. Are we getting it? You sure? All right, 125. This one's easy. Think about quarters. 25 and 5. What's the square root of 25? And then square root of 5 stays in. Yay? All right, 72. Think about two numbers that multiply 72. They're going to be small. Usually they're small numbers. 9 and 8. 9 times 8. And why 9? And 8? Because 9 is a perfect square root. What's the square root of 9? 3. And then the 8. Ooh, but the 8 has another one. 4. 4 times 2, correct? So what is the square root of 4? And then when I multiply by the 3? 6. Oh, this is a 2. What is wrong with me? That's a 2, I'm sorry. So there was a bigger number, right? 6 times 36 times 2? 36 times 2. It's okay. You can still do the small numbers, but then you're going to have to do them again. Yay? All right, 180. 90, but is 90 a perfect square root? Start dividing it by perfect square roots. You have a calculator. And if not, do the diagram. 60 is not a perfect square root, right? Is 45 n? Let's see. 45 times 4 will be 180. Which one has a perfect square root? But 45 has another perfect square root. 9 and 5. Yay? So there's a bigger number than 45. It's okay. If you don't know, it's okay. As long as you can realize that it has another one, you're good to go. All right, what's the square root of 4? 2. What's the square root of 9? 3. And then that one doesn't have a square root. Good to see you, baby girl. All right, so. Huh? Oh, she just left. All right. So what's 2 times 3? 6. And square root of what? And square root of 5. So that would be 6 and square root of 5. There you go. Oh, this one's easy. A square and A, right? So that would be A and square root of A. No, for every 2, 1 comes out. Eyes over here. Come on. All right. What about B to the 7th? B6 and B. Very good. Yes. Just take away 1. That's all you're doing, right? Because if you take away 1 from those odd numbers, it will give you an even number. Right? You add them, right? Because B6 and B is B7. Correct? All right. What's the square root of B6? B3. And then square root of B. Yay? All right, what about M to the 11th? And 10 and M. Yes, that's 11. 10 and then 1 more. All right, so what's the square root of M10? M5. And then square root of M inside. That doesn't have a partner to go to the dance. That's not nice. That is not nice. All right, 75 would be how much? This one's easy. 25 and 3. Yay? Square root of 25 is how much? And then 3. I'm going to chunk it. I'm going to do each one on its own. Then I'm going to do the x's, and then I'm going to do the y's. And then I'm going to put them together. Pay attention. All right, x to the 7 would be x6 and x, right? Those are perfect square roots, correct? What's the square root of x to the 6? And then 1x inside? Yes? Are you with me? All right, and then y to the 5th. That will be y4 and then y, right? That's a perfect square root. So how many come out? Y squared and then y. So this is what I'm going to do. Everything that's outside, I'm going to put it outside, and everything that's inside, I'm going to put it inside. So the only other thing that I need to do is put all of those together, and then all of these ones together. So what's my answer? 5x3y2, 3x and y. Yay? Are you with me? Okay, Friday's quiz will be intense with all of this and systems of inequalities. All right. What number was that one? Number 8, right? All right, let's go to number 9. Square root of 27. I'm on number 9. 9 and 3. That has a perfect square root, correct? So this is 3 and square root of 3. A11. A10 and 10. And this has a perfect, that's an A, not a 9. A what? A5. And then 1 inside. Yes? And then the other one would be B7. So B6 and 1B? Yes or no? And then that has a perfect square root. B3. Yeah, you got it. And then you put it together, right? So 3A5 B3 and then 3A and B. Yes? You sure? You look like you ain't sure. All right. That's number 10. All right. Square root of 32, A7, and B4. All right, 32. 16 and 2. You can do 8 times 4, but then 8 is going to be 4 times 2, and you're going to have to do it again. It's okay. You just got to make sure that you don't stop there. So I would do 16 times 2, right? Because the perfect square root of 16 would be 4, not 8. Chancla. All right. What about A7? A6 and A. And what's the square root of A6? A3 and then 1A inside. Yay? Oh, this one is easy because that's a perfect square root. So B2. All right, let's put it together now. 4A3 and B2. Yes? All those outside. And then inside 2 and A. We really are doing algebra 2. We're not doing algebra 1. But it's okay because at the end of the year, this will be a piece of cake. So I don't want to hear about it. Stop! I don't want to hear about that. All right. Square root of 9. Shh. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Focus. Let's go. Last table. Thank you. Square root of 9. 3. And what's the square root of 8 to the 8th power? 8 to the 4. Very good. Number 12. All right. 45 is not a perfect square root, but 9 times 5 is 45, and 9 has a perfect square root, right? So what's the perfect square root of 9? And then 5 inside, correct? All right, A7 would be A6 and A. What's the perfect square root of A6? A3 and then 1 inside. Yay? All right, 13. 36. X squared, Y6. All right, these are all perfect squares. 6, X, and there you go, and Y3. You got it. Yes? No? All right, 14. All right, so for 12 would be 4 and, no, 6 is not a perfect square, right? It's got to be perfect squares. All right. What's the perfect square of 4? 2 and then a 3, right? Oh, these two are easy. Because what's the perfect square root of x to the 20th? X to the 10th. And what's the perfect square root of y to the 8th? Y to the 4th. So everything that's outside, you put it outside. And what's in, you put it in, right? So 2 x10 y4 square root of 3. Yay? All right, what about negative 200? First of all, it needs to be negative, right? 100 times 2? Yes? And what's the perfect square root of 100? 10. Yay? Yes, because it's the opposite, right? You have a negative outside of it. Do you see it? All right. Oh, this one's easy. Square root of 196. It says 13 or is it 14? 14? You can do it on the calculator, correct? All right, you got it. Ooh, somebody. Oh, 9. There you go. I got it. All right, square root of 63. I just told you. 9 times 7? Yes? And the square root of 9 would be 3 square root of 7. What's the square root of x to the 4th? And then that one has to stay in, right? It doesn't have a partner to come out. Lonely. It's like Miss Marine lonely. I got my babies! Yes! ¿Ya te va? Hey, Armando. Ar- All right. Look, Jackie got upset with me because I call you guys babies. 3. All right. So 3 and x squared go outside, and then inside the square root would be 7 and y. Yay? All right, give me a number 1 through 4. How do we feel about this? All right. All right, let's do 18. Shh. All right, 18. The 18 is only 6 times 1 and 2 times 3, right? And none of those numbers are perfect square roots, right? 6 times 1 and 2 times 3. Do you have any perfect square roots over here? No, so that means that that 6 needs to stay inside, right? But x cubed would be x squared times x, right? And you can do that one. So you have 6x inside and 1x out. That one comes from here, right? Are you with me, babies? Yes? Yay? Are we sure? What? They're just as territorial as you guys.
So we're better.
Oh my God. I cannot go anywhere. I cannot say anything about another group. Well, they all are. They're
You can't
competing.
have a boyfriend without having my approval. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding, guys.
She was my confidant, though.
I know way too much that I'm not supposed to.
No, yeah, you don't. So you better be quiet. All
Guys,
right.
y'all want to know something better?
No, stop it. I'm recording. All right. So go over there.
I'm trying to learn.
You already learned all this.
But
Go.
I don't know this.
Yes, you do.
You
Go
never
over there.
told me.
Yes, I did. Oh, because you came in late. No, but you were there here by that time.
Pero you act like I paid attention to you.
You did because you got commended. All right, we got a tutor, right? What is she doing? I don't know. Okay, square root of 100.
10.
That's 10, right? Square root of x to the fifth would be x4 times x, right?
What?
So, very good. And then y stays in, right? All right, so x squared, x and y. Yay?
How do you get that?
I'm tutoring. All right, let's do 20. No. All right. Okay, 80 is 80 times 1, right? None. Both of those are not perfect squares. So let's look. If you don't know, because right now, like I'm going blank and I don't know, just start writing two numbers that multiplied 80, right? So 80 times 1, 40 times 2. Okay, one at a time, because I'm 42 years old and I cannot. It just doesn't happen as quick as you guys want me to. All right. So what do we got? 40 times 2. I can't hear. 16 times 5. 20 times 4. 8 times 10. Shh. All right, I only see one perfect square root. 16 times 5, right? So if you don't know, like I didn't know what it was, but I can do this. I can look at two numbers that will multiply at 80, right? And if you don't know, you can just say 80 divided by 2, 80 divided by 4, 80 divided by 20. Or, I mean, just put numbers in there, right? Until you can find all of them. So this is definitely 16 times 5. And then square root of 16 would be 4. And then 5 stays in, right? Now, square root of x, my God, what's wrong with me? X to the 100, yeah. It's a perfect square root. Divided by 2, x to the what? 50. And then 49. No, because this is not the number 7. This is 49 y's. So that would be 48 and 1, right? Take away 1 always to make it into an even number. And then what's the square root of y to the 48? Just half it. I'm either boring you to death or you don't understand what you're doing. Am I boring you? Yeah? All right, what comes out? What stays in? 5y. Yay? Shh. Yay? All right. All right, let's go here. We're going to do the back. No, we're going to do the back later. We're going to do the back in class. Because I got to stop talking in about 15 more minutes. I don't want to talk for 2 hours. All right, are we good? You may want to take some of those activities home, the inequalities, the ones that I'm going to pick tomorrow. So takes because they already finished, so you can take it from the family folder and do one of them tonight, and then tomorrow you can do the other one, and you're good to go. You need two, so then take it and do it home, and then you don't need to worry about it. Okay. Oh, that you can do home. Don't glue until you come back and check the key. So that one, all you need is the other paper. You know what I'm talking about? The other paper. That one. Take that home. Okay, and then write the, you need those because you need the letters. Write the letters, yes, but don't glue until you come back and you check with the key. Okay? Yeah, you have to solve for y and then look for the graph. So you need those and the little cards. And there's some left over. So don't panic if you have some that you don't use. All right, eyes on me. 1, 2, 3. Let's do this 5 so that we can get to some activities and you can work on your own because my throat hurts.
Miss, can Karen go to the office?
Yes, yes. Karen, whatever you missed, then you're going to have to watch it on the video,
Can
okay?
I go over here? I'm just gonna go see the computer.
Okay.
Can I go over here?
Doesn't need company for that.
She don't want to go
I want you here because I'll miss you if you're gone.
You have Virginia. You
Look,
have
look at
Bernice.
this. Look at this. Oh my God.
No, the minor ones.
I got all of you.
You love me more.
You guys make me so happy.
She loves me. Who told you that lie? Her. Who's your favorite?
All of you are my favorites. All right, so we're going to do this 5 problems. The volume V of a soap bubble is related to a surface area in cubic centimeters. This relationship is shown by the formula V equals blah, 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 A to the 3 second, right? To the 3 halves. What is the surface area of the bubble with a volume of 5? All right, so this is your formula. You can work them out in the back if you need to. This is number 1. Okay? And what do we have? What information do you have? No, you don't have the surface area. You're looking for the surface area. It says, what is the surface area? Yes? With a volume of 5 cubic centimeters. So where do I substitute that 5? For the V. Volume is 5, which means this would be 5 equals 0.094. You're looking for your surface area, and it tells you right here, surface area is A. So that would be your X, and that's to what? 3.5. Very good. So we got 2 options. Where can we go to solve this? Equation solver, but you got to be careful when there are square roots, okay? You have to be really, really careful because the square root of 4 could be positive or negative 2. Because if I say negative 2 times negative 2, what would that be? 4. And if I say positive 2 times positive 2, that's still 4, correct? Yes? So square roots are always plus and minus. So be careful when you're doing square roots. Stop talking. Be careful when you're doing square roots and you go into the equation solver. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do it both ways. Let's go to the equation solver right now and then let's solve it traditionally. Right? All right. So let's go to equation solver. How would you do it on equation solver? How would you write it on equation solver? 0.094, and then we put the x to the what power? 3 halves minus 5. All right. Why did I put that 3 halves in parentheses? It's a fraction, and the equation solver does not let you put the fraction in there, right? You cannot say alpha y equal to and put the fraction, correct? Or am I wrong? I'm right, correct? Not all the time, but this time I am. So enter alpha, enter. And what does it say that it is? 14 point? 14, yeah. So x, yeah, you got something different. What did you get? You might. This is why you got to be careful when you're doing square roots.
I put two X's.
All right. All right, let's do it the other way. So according to equation solver, that's my answer, correct? Yes? All right. So to solve for x, I need to divide by. I'm doing it the traditional way where you divide, right? I need to get rid of that by dividing. Is that correct? Or no? Yes or no? Yes? All right, so what is 5 divided by 0.094? 53.19? Yes? All right, that can be changed to what? What can you change that to? Square root of what? X what? Very good. Yes or no? Did you write everything that I needed to know over here? All right. You gotta go. Love you. Bye. No, I won't. All right, so what can I do next? Somebody talk to me. What do you think we can do next? This is definitely, I'm not going to say it. What can I do next? My baby. Yes. 5:30. Yeah. Thursday I'm not, so if you guys want to come back on Thursday, we can hang out. I don't have tutoring. That's what I meant. All right. Does anybody know what we can do? You going to? Okay. What can we do? No. Good. Oh, come on. All right. What can we do? See, they're just like you guys. All right. What do we do? Come on. Huh? That what you're saying? Maybe? XXX or no? That's the same as x times x times x, right? Yes? Yay? So 1x comes out of here, right? All right, guys, you need to, I'm going to have to stop. Okay, we need to pay attention. Yeah, because they're just getting too distracted every time that door is open. Everybody looks, love you too, baby. Bye, love you.
Thank you, baby.
Oh, so you prefer a longer hug. Okay, I see how it is.
Oh my goodness, oh my God. I love you. I love you. Flaca. I love you. I love you. Look, and this one is like, pay attention to us. Oh my God. All right. Huh? Yeah, we're supposed to be teaching. I'm supposed to be teaching. All right, let's do. Yay? Is there anything else we can do? This is a little too much for you guys. It'll be okay. It'll be. This is like really high up there. No, it's like, how do we do this? How do we do this? Right? All right. All right. All right, let's do this. Let's do this because for equation solver you got to be a little careful when you're dealing with rational exponents. I don't expect you to because this is as I'm doing and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is too much for them. Let's go ahead and the only thing that I'm going to ask you is you can use equation solver, but let's plug it in. Let's substitute it to make sure that it works. Okay, so if that value is 14.14, right? When I plug it in over here, it should be equal to 5. Do you understand what I'm trying to do? Yes? All right, so I get that A, we got that X, we got that X was 14.14. Yes? Are you with? Okay, those back tables get on my last nerve. Every time I look over there, somebody's not paying attention to what I'm doing. Come on, babies. Come on. All right, so the only thing that I'm going to ask you to do just to make sure that this is correct, because the other stuff is, it's a little too much. That's way into algebra 2. Let's go ahead and plug that value there and make sure that we get something as close to 5 as possible, right? All right, so let's go to the calculator and let's do that. So 0.094 and then 14.14 to the is it 3 halves? Yes. There you go. 4.99999. Are we right? Yes, we are. All right? Yes? So that's the only thing that I'm going to ask you to do. You can go to equation solver, but then let's go ahead and substitute it to make sure that it is that value that we're looking for. Do we understand? Yes? All right, I'm sorry I confused you there. I didn't realize how hard it was. All right, I'm sorry, my fault. All right, let's go to the next one. All right. The number of hours, come on, I want to finish this. The number of hours H that milk stays fresh in a function of the surrounding temperature T in degrees centigrade. Shh. This relationship is shown by the formula H of T equals 180 times 10 to the negative 0.4 T. And that's just the exponent, right? That parentheses was way too big. How many hours? So it's asking you for what? For what letter? How many hours? H. Newly pasteurized milk stay fresh when stored at 8 degrees. What is this? That is the T. Thank you very much. And it's asking you for H. So do you need to go to equation solver? All right, let's plug it in. Maybe you will know if we need to go to equation solver or no when we substitute it. All right, so T is how much? 8. Do we need to go to equation solver? Yes or no? No, I don't have an X. I'm looking for H, which is the number of hours. If T was the X, then yes, I need to go to equation solver. All right, so all you need to do is solve this part. So that would be 180 times 10 to the negative 0.4 times 8. That's how you write it. 0.11. 0.11. Nobody, no, they're not talking to me. I got a few people talking to me, but that's about it. All right, so H, the number of hours would be 0.11 hours. So lesson learned, you don't leave, although 8 degrees is not bad. That's actually cold. All right, are we good? Number 3. I don't think we are because we're not, we're tuning me out. All right, a fast ship speeds s in knots varies directly as the seventh root of the power P in horsepower being generated by the engine. This is expressed by the formula, and you got your formula. Let's write it down. S equals 6.492 P to the 1/7. If a ship is traveling at a speed of 25 knots, what is that? That's S. So let's go ahead and plug it in. Do you think you're going to have to go to equation solver? Yes, because I have what it's equal to. If I have what an equation is equal to, I'm most definitely, probably, 99% of the time, we'll have to go to equation solver. All right. About how much power is the engine generating? So what's your X? P. So 6.492 X to the 1/7. And we're going to equation solver for this. How do I write it in equation solver? All right, so 6.492 X to the power of 1/7 minus 25. Enter alpha. Enter. Remember, you cannot do the fractions in equation solver, so you're going to have to put it inside parentheses. Whoa. 12,558. Yes? All right, let's plug it in real quick just to make sure. So let's plug it in over here, right? Yay? Can you see it? We should get what? 25. Did we get 25? We got pretty close to 25, didn't we? Yay? All right, number 4, right? All right, a formula that the police used for finding the speed S in miles per hour that a car was going from the length L in feet of its skid mark is S equals 5L. The Guinness Book of Record reports that in 1960 a Jaguar in England had the longest skid marks ever recorded at 950 feet. So what is that? Is that S? Or is that L? That's L because it's length. Very good. So this would be 5 times what? 950. What was the Jaguar's approximate speed? Do you have to go to equation solver? Heck no. You don't have what it's equal to, right? All right, so this would be square root of 5 times 950. And then hit that enter key because you're not going to equation solver. About 79 miles per hour? I'm sorry, 60. What did I say? 69. All right. All right. About how far will a car travel if it skids from 50 miles per hour to a stop? So now this is a different problem. This was A, right? For B, we got to figure out how far will the car travel. So what are we looking for, S or L? If it's how far will it travel? What are we looking for? L. So this is my X. And if it goes at what? 50 miles per hour. That's your speed. So am I going to equation solver? Heck yeah. Very good. So let's do it. You see how it opens the parentheses? You got to close it because you have to tell her the only thing that goes inside that parentheses is 5x. If you don't close it and you put minus 50, she's going to put everything inside inside the square root. So be careful. And then minus 50. Enter alpha. About 500? Let's double check. 5 times 500, right? Yep, that's 50. Are we good? I should not be telling. Remember, none of this will be on the star, but it will sure be on my test. So don't tune me out. Don't tune me out. Do not tune me out. Do not tune me out. I'm going to say it again. Don't tune me out. All right. I think I got space over there. Okay, Max has 500 he wants to save for a big trip in the summer after he graduates from high school. His goal is to find an investment vehicle that will allow his money to double. So he wants it from 500 to 1,000 in 4 years. What compound annual interest rate R will make this happen? This can be expressed by the formula A equals P 1 plus R. I teach this to Math 8, where P is the original principal. So that's the original amount. What is P? So what is it? Thank you. 500. So the original amount was 500. R is the annual interest rate. T is the number of years. So what is T? 4. I don't know what R is, but I do know that the time is 4. And A is the total volume on the investment. So what's the total that he wants? 1,000. So this should be equal to 1,000, which means what is R? X. Do I have to go to equation solver? Heck yes. I was just making sure you were paying attention to me. Oh, come on, it's my lie. Let me tell it however the heck I want to. All right, so 500, 1 plus x to the 4th power. And then I'm going to say minus 1, 1, 2, 3. See now, because I know you're paying attention, I put the extra 0 that I needed. You guys just don't get me. All right, enter alpha. Enter. Ooh. I think we did something wrong. Yeah, me too. The orange man. All right. All right, let's go back. Let me see. 500, 1 plus x to the 4th minus 1,000. I think we did it right. Enter alpha, enter. I did, didn't I? Did I do it right? All right, I don't know what's wrong with this one. I'm sorry. I bet it's positive 2.189. But let's just let it be because I don't know what the heck I did wrong. All right, don't worry about it. You guys what? Negative? You got positive? Oh, maybe because... No. Okay, so you got 2? The positive 2? What do you guys get? Point what? 189? Yes? I'm sorry. There's something wrong. I don't know what happened. There you go, there you go, there you go. But the rate is always in percent, so you got to move that number to a percent. Did anybody else get this? Yes? All right, so half of you got what I got? Yeah? All right, so to change that to a percent, you got to move the point twice. So what is the rate? 18.9%. All right. Say that again? All right, awesome. Yeah, there's something wrong. I don't know what. All right.